under the Hooded One's sway. Do you even know what he is? No matter. You'll find my king far more capable than Count Gianor. My king, take the power you were promised. Put an end to this nuisance.
The second bow before your king.
The Medicats do not bow to kings. We skin them. Submit! You are finished!
The Malekith will pay! The Malekith will pay! We are the storm! For my people! Vengeance! We are endless! Justice! For my people!
We're running out of time. End this.
What are you doing?
Let the beast go! I don't have time for this! Sand! Bend to my will! Impede my enemies! Our gift to you! The era of the Faradun is now! Forge our hate! Forge, damn you! I call the winds! Forge of hate! Our gift to you! The era of the Faradun is now! Take our hate! Forge, damn you! The Faradun is now! We will blot out the sun! You will be forgotten! Forge of hate! Now! blot out the sun! I will erase you! Our gift to you! 10,000 spears! Take our hate! 10,000 spears! The Marquette will pay! You will be forgotten! We will blot out the sun! Our gift to you! The era of the Falcon is now! Endless hate! The Malachite will pay! Cannot give up! You will be forgotten! Die! Urashikama!
Asala!
You have accomplished nothing. Oriana will prevail, and the Faradin will rule the Vespiri!
This is not over. Not yet. Jamara! I return you to the embrace of death! It is done. The war is over. I have given him an honorable death. This may prove to heal the wound between the Faradin and the Marquess. Return with me. I must address my people.
The risen king is dead once again. Another tale of the harsh desert. This time, his death was honorable. Asala did this intentionally, and I admire her for it. The Faradin have already begun the process of taking his body to Deshar for a proper sky burial. Asala allowed this. You understand the significance here. Perhaps we could be stepping into the light of a new era for our people.
The Marquette abandoned us, but there is beauty in their strict traditions. They do not have a choice. The desert is a harsh sekema, as they say. Uniting as one people, combining our resources, that is the only way we can all live in peace.
My worst fears have been realized. The beast is beyond our means now. You're right. I have not been entirely forthcoming. It is time I told you who I truly am. I am a god. I am the thief of virtue. I am sin. And I have failed once again. It was I who created the beast. The seed of corruption that now threatens to grow anew. And it is my responsibility. As it is my creation that once again threatens all Vraklast. It is by my hand that it must be contained. All I can ask is that, knowing who I am, you still see the importance of our task. The beast has grown beyond our ability to contain it. We must search for something greater than we currently possess. Something that can drain its power and bring it back to a more manageable form. While I slumbered under the numbing effects of corruption, there was an empire that mastered the use of that deadly energy. We must go to the jungles of the long-ago Val. their ruins may yet hold the secrets we need. That is where we must go, to the sunken city of Utsa. It is our only hope. I am thousands of years old. I was mortal first, but then I was deified against my will by my brother. But that is a story for another time. I spent my early divine life in Keth. I loved and was loved. I even had a daughter. This shrine depicts them both. They were revered by the Maraketh. Garakon was the true jewel of the Vastiri, at least to me. Divine love is much like mortal love, at least from what I can remember. And we were happy for a time longer than the lives of many mortal men. The time came, however, when love was not enough. Her humanity sifted through the cracks of her life like fine sand, leaving a divine shell that held her image, but nothing of her soul. It is a trap, you see. Divinity. Faith empowers, but faith also shapes. To gather more power, a god must play the part, becoming more and more the icon their followers perceive. When does perception become reality? It's impossible to pinpoint, and that's the most sinister thing about it. You never know the moment you cross the line. You want the truth? I betrayed her, and had her killed. There are not enough excuses in all of Raycast to make up for what I did. I thought it was the right thing to do at the time. I thought it was the only way to save humanity. And yet, here we are again, chasing the beast and fighting for the fate of the world. I am beginning to suspect that the cycle of history may never end, unless we surpass ourselves and find another way. But until we do, we will solve this the only way we know how, with violence.
Jaman Ra is back where he belongs. I have given him a proper death. By removing his head, I acknowledged him, though he was never a king, despite what the Feridan may choose to believe. Those who have survived this war will be given a choice. It would be a waste to kill the Feridan who have proven themselves in battle. They may choose to be acknowledged, to have a place at the table, or they can remain outcasts. Either way, it is time to write a new chapter. Who knows what the future holds? After what has happened here, the other Akaras must consider joining the Ardura. I intend to be persuasive. Yes, we can take you to the edge of the desert. Then we will continue to track the beast. You must find a way to contain it. When we find out where it is being taken, we will seek you out. Until then, may the winds ever be calm on your paths.
The beast has grown too powerful. We can no longer contain it through mortal means. There was once an empire that embraced corruption. They studied it, mastered it, and became the greatest civilization the world has ever known. But it led to their destruction. Our allies will continue the pursuit of the beast, but we shall undertake a different search. We must go to the ruins of the Val Empire, in search of a weapon against the coming cataclysm.
I will tell your tale, Jingak. Return someday, and you might hear Risu tell it in my place.
Utsal is close. Be careful. The Val heavily relied on the use of corruption. Their lands may still be dangerous.
We strayed from the route marked on our map, driven further afield by painted men with savage intent.
The humidity is disgusting. Best get on with this. again. Tribal savages, cursed jungle. A traditional place, overrun by vagabonds. I disapprove.
Florence Cayley. They survived. 201. Stabbed through the heart by the animated corpse of Osmond Shipwash.
It is strange to return to this place of my divine youth and see it so aged and forgotten. When I was here, the Vaal were the height of civilization, and the future was bright. They had their problems like any other people, but I thought I could free them from the moral hazards of divinity by removing gods from the equation. While we are here, I would like to discover whether this ruination is my fault, or whether something else happened to them.
You're the one who waded to the undead in the marsh, eh? Truly, you need a guide. Luck's on your side today, friend. I am such a guide. Maybe I can help you survive. Not all tribes in this region are so friendly. You would be wise to listen to me on the dangers of the jungle. Yes, you are lucky indeed. Apus is my grandson. Can you believe that? A young spry thing like me. A grandmother. Don't be answering that. Apus inherited my son's rowdy spirit. Maybe it's a family curse. We have always been the type to do what we shouldn't. Like helping outsiders such as yourself. One day, he'll be a great man. Just like his father. Until then, I try to keep him safe.
She knows how to part fools from their coin. Clever.
Everything here can kill you. A snake you can't see. A strange plant. Even one of your own. Survival in the jungle depends upon learning the lessons from those who died before you. That's the wisdom of my tribe. And since these treasure hunters pay me so well, I don't mind sharing. Haha. Any place you want to know about, come to me with questions, and I will tell you what I know. The jungle ruins are full of deadly creatures, you know. Quadrillas can tear a man apart in seconds, but at least you can hear them coming. The real danger? The apes that drop down from above.
What kind of stunt was that, traversing the marsh? Have to be smarter if you're to survive. As quartermaster, I'll do my best to keep you alive. I can buy what equipment you find, or sell you what others have unearthed before we ship it back to Kingsmarch. If you disappear in the jungle, I'll also be the one to note your death in our logs. You're welcome.
This one, he would not survive the desert.
Hello there. I'm Elva Valai. Sorry about Oswald. He can be a bit, rough with the newcomers. But he's really not a bad sort. In any case, we can always use another pair of hands around here. Welcome. This little excursion here represents my lifelong ambition. It's not just about finding treasure. I want to build an entire archaeological society someday. Rayclast has countless layers of history buried beneath it, and I aim to uncover every last bit. I intend to call my group the Reliquarians. A bit ostentatious, but the best things should be. A shame I couldn't have founded it a few decades ago, back when my birthplace Oriath was still a thriving city. Thanks to the Templars, relics from a dozen different cultures found their way to that little island over the centuries. and are now all lost thanks to the disasters that happened there. So you're looking for a device the Vaal intended to use against the Cataclysm? Ah, so that's why you came here. Well, you're on the right trail. The ziggurat on which we stand was rumored to contain a device to save their people. If you want to explore it, you'll have to find a way to drain the city first. It's hard to guess what the device inside the temple might be. I do know that it was commissioned by Queen Etziri's thaumaturge, Doriani himself. The project was given all the resources it needed, and the work was kept secret, even from Etziri. As best I could translate, they claimed using it might mean abandoning all they had built. They seemed to view it as a last resort, a way to save their legacy if all else failed. It's not often I detect fear in Vaal writings, but they definitely hoped they would never have to use it. By their final days, the Vaal were a deeply tiered empire based on brutal competition. Those at the top vied with each other through any means necessary, and Doriani was the foremost among these ambitious and immoral men. He was second only to Queen Etziri herself. Utzal was the seat of his power, and ancient writings claim he undertook a vast array of strange projects and sordid experiments here. Some glyphs I have seen are too stomach-churning to discuss. How do I even begin to describe the last queen of the Vaal? She left a tremendous mark on history. She was intelligent and capable enough to rule unquestioned over a bloodthirsty empire of volatile nobles, and the people adored her and feared her in equal measure. Vaal writings speak of her as the most beautiful woman in the era, but also the most dangerous. She sought eternal life, and she was willing to sacrifice anything to achieve it. The ruins around you are the result of those ambitions. Sometimes while I'm looting a temple, I remember that everything we find once belonged to a living, breathing person that probably died horribly. That sort of takes the fun out of it, doesn't it? I've heard of the beast. Everyone has. If someone is truly trying to raise another, then they must be the grandest of fools. These very ruins around us are the result of an attempt to control such a thing. This is the only way it can end. Oswald's a grim sort, isn't he? He's always injury this, death that. Personally, I've never been hurt while treasure hunting. I actually find it rather easy. He always makes sure we have the proper supplies and checks his list for everything 4 or 5 times before we make a move. He also invented what I call the Oswald technique. On the rare occasions he personally goes out with us, he throws a rock at absolutely everything before touching it. Every flagstone, every pillar, every statue. You'd be positively amazed at the elaborate traps he sets off, even in places I've walked through already. Servi has been a fantastic ally to us here. Her people have lived in the vicinity of Utzal for countless generations, so she's been able to show us all the most interesting Vaal ruins. The accessible ruins were all looted long ago, of course, but the lake around us has protected most of this city since the end of the Vaal Empire. That hooded fellow over there, he's a friend of yours, I take it? Seems to be one of few words. Oh well, I'm not one to judge the company you choose to keep. Oswald's gonna lose his wits if any more of you show up, though. Something tells me you're the exploring type. We've got that in common. But some places even I steer clear of. I rather enjoy being alive, you see. Still, if you're feeling adventurous, there's fortunes to be made out there in the wilds. I'm especially interested in all things related to the Vaal. For academic reasons, of course. But a bit of treasure never goes amiss.
This woman is curious. I wish to know more of her.
Somewhere in this region there were sophisticated canals and waterways. We might be able to use them to drain this lake. We must hope that the mechanisms are still functioning, despite their age. It is the only way to reverse the drowning of this once thriving city. first step in our search for the secret knowledge of the Val.
The ziggurat beneath us was once the temple of the sun god, one of the oldest built in the city of Utsal's religious district. It was in active use for at least 1,000 years, but when the Val cataclysm struck, the city flooded, presumably killing everyone inside. Good thing for us, because this lake is the only reason it hasn't been ransacked by other treasure hunters already. One man's mass death is another man's treasure, I suppose. I log everything here, so I can catalogue the thousands of ways to die the jungle offers. If you can, be sure to write some sort of final entry detailing how you died. The death log won't benefit you, of course, but it will certainly benefit me. I don't mean to be overly fatalistic, but the amateurs coming from Kingsmarch are accomplishing nothing but feeding the chimeras. The most I can do, as quartermaster, is ensure they're equipped for exploration. That's where the real profit in treasure hunting is, you see. I don't go out there if I can help it. I'm the unluckiest man alive. Yet, I'm the wealthiest in this camp. You have to be good when you're trading with the Kalgurans, or they'll fleece you. Ah, Kingsmarch. So called by the Kalgurans. They're newcomers to Rayclast. About 20 years now. They're traders by nature. In fact, they've partially funded this very expedition. For some reason, they're very interested in Val artifacts. We ship most of what we find back to Kingsmarch, and they pay handsomely for it.
The mighty Val Empire, now just an overgrown jungle. Oh no. How can I tell her of this?
This is my son. When he did not return from the jungle, I feared the worst. But I still had hope. The warring tribes have taken that hope away from me. Curse the Azak, curse the Orc, and curse this day. Promise me, you will not tell Apus his father is dead. Let him remain a child for one more day.
The Auroch are truly terrifying to behold. I suspect their canine features result from genetic mutations, perhaps born of the cataclysms that reshaped these lands.
We've been clashing with the Auroch tribe for generations, but their real fight is with the Azak, and them are losing. The Auroch worship the three-headed snake. Them poison the jungle, poison themselves, poison us too. Their shaman? Only seen her twice. She moved like a panther in the dark. The coward. Evil in the shadows, my friend. Evil in the shadows. If you find the source of their wickedness, you let me know. I must see it for myself to make an antidote. It hurt me deeply to find him there. To find him like that. Still, I thank you for finding his body. His spirit roams the jungle with his fathers now. The warring tribes, the Azak, the Auroch, they have a lot to answer for.
I could have gone my whole life without watching snakes coil around a corpse or getting pounded into the dirt by a homicidal ape. It's enough to make a girl question her career choices. Still, the treasure keeps me coming back. You can't take 2 steps around here without tripping over some old Val ruin all tangled up in the undergrowth. They make an odd pair of colleagues, don't they? Oswald's the kind to worry about the jungle eating him, and Alva's the type to dare it to try. Perhaps that's why their partnership has been more lucrative than most. They balance each other out. Survivors, half-wits, and the occasional lunatic? That's our expedition in a nutshell. Used to be, we were seasoned veterans out here. These days, if a newcomer lasts more than a week, it's a cause for celebration. Still, with the Kalgurans throwing coin around, plenty of folks are willing to risk their lives for a shot of the spoils. Apes are one thing, but quadrillas? Now they're fearsome. The Val left these lands drowning in corruption after their cataclysm. Guess it twisted the creature's ear into something unnatural. Still, I can't help but think 4 arms could come in handy, wouldn't you say? No pun intended.
What is worse, snakes or scorpions?